Okay, so now this diagram shows the cross section of pons at the level of facial colliculus. So pons in this section, it is divided into ventral basilar part and dorsal tegmental part. Basilar part is the part which lies in front of an imaginary line which passes through the trapezoid body or corpus trapezoidum. This represents the trapezoid body or corpus trapezoidum. Behind this there is medial lemniscus. So an imaginary line passing through corpus trapezoidum and medial lemniscus divides pons into ventral basilar part and dorsal tegmental part. As we know, in the ventral basilar part, pons contains nuclei pontis. Okay, longitudinal fibers, that is the corticospinal, corticonuclear, and corticopontine fibers, and transverse fibers. Transverse fibers are the pontocerebellar fibers. Most of the fibers they cross midline and they project to opposite neocerebellum through middle cerebellar peduncle. So that is about the basilar part. Now tegmental part. So we'll start with the lemniscal system. You can see here very clearly there is a necklace shaped arrangement of the four lemnisci. Medial lemniscus, trigeminal lemniscus, spinal lemniscus, and at a higher level lateral lemniscus will appear here. You can draw four lemnisci at this level also, okay, because these diagrams are already arbitrary diagrams. Anyway, so from medial to lateral there is a necklace shape arrangement of the four lemnisci. And what is the arrangement? Medial lemniscus, trigeminal lemniscus, spinal lemniscus, and there is lateral lemniscus. What is medial lemniscus? These are second order neuron fibers arising from the nucleus gracilis and nucleus cuneatus. Fibers from the nucleus gracilis, they are lateral, and the fibers from the nucleus cuneatus, they are in the medial part. Because from medulla to pons, this medial lemniscus undergoes 90-degree rotation and it is oriented from sagittal plane in medulla to coronal plane in pons. Okay, so that is the first lemniscus, medial lemniscus. Second is the trigeminal lemniscus. Trigeminal lemniscus lies lateral to medial lemniscus and it is formed by second order neuron fibers arising from the principal sensory nucleus and spinal nucleus of the trigeminal nerve. It's very easy. These are the fibers from the nuclei, sensory nuclei of the trigeminal nerve and from the opposite side. These are all contralateral fibers. Fibers of the trigeminal lemniscus, they are contralateral. So they arise from the opposite principal sensory nucleus and spinal nucleus of trigeminal nerve. Lateral to it, there is spinal lemniscus, that is the continuation of the lateral spinothalamic tract concerned with the pain and thermal sensation. Okay, and further laterally, somewhere over here where my pointer is, appears the lateral lemniscus. Lateral lemniscus is an ascending tract which is part of the auditory pathway. We'll see it later. Okay, so this is the arrangement, first feature in the tegmentum, necklace shape arrangement of the four lemnisci. You just need to remember the names. From medial to lateral, it is medial lemniscus, trigeminal lemniscus, spinal lemniscus, and lateral lemniscus. Okay. Now behind the lemniscal system, you can see this group of nuclei. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is the nuclear complex, superior olivary nuclear complex. And this rounded nucleus, which is on the medial side, is the nucleus of trapezoid body. Okay. This is the nucleus of trapezoid body, and these three nuclei collectively they are known as the superior olivary nuclear complex. Superior olivary nuclear complex, as you can see, it consists of S-shaped principal superior olivary nucleus. Okay, this is the S-shaped principal superior olivary nucleus. Medial to it lies the accessory superior olivary nucleus, and dorsal to it, this thing is the retro olivary nucleus. Okay, so superior olivary nucleus consists of three nuclei: S shaped principal superior olivary nucleus, medial to it accessory superior olivary nucleus, dorsal to it, retro olivary nucleus. Okay, medial to it, this rounded nucleus is the nucleus of trapezoid body. Now this nuclear complex, they receive fibers from the ventral cochlear nucleus. This rounded nucleus is the ventral cochlear nucleus. So they receive fibers from the opposite ventral cochlear nucleus in the form of ventral acoustic stria. So this is the left ventral cochlear nucleus. So fibers they pass, they cross midline and they project here to superior olivary nucleus and nucleus of trapezoid body. From this ventral cochlear nucleus, fibers will cross and project to the opposite side, superior olivary nucleus and nucleus of trapezoid body. And this decussating fibers, which fibers? Ventral acoustic stria, which are derived from the ventral cochlear nucleus. This decussating fibers forms the corpus trapezoidum or trapezoid body. So trapezoid body is formed by decussating fibers of the ventral cochlear nucleus or ventral acoustic stria. Okay. Now efferents, this nuclear complex receives fibers from ventral cochlear nucleus. Efferents arising from this nuclear complex, they ascend as lateral lemniscus. Okay, so efferents from superior olivary nuclear complex and nucleus of trapezoid body, they ascend as the lateral lemniscus. Lateral lemniscus also has both ipsilateral and contralateral fibers from the direct fibers from the dorsal cochlear nucleus also. We'll see it later. Okay, but at this point you understand the connection efferents and efferents of the superior olivary nuclear complex and nucleus of trapezoid body. Is that clear up to this point, Janil? Okay, now this is the central tegmental tract. Okay, this suggests the central tegmental tract. Now this central tegmental tract, as the name suggests, it lies in the central core, tegmental core, and it is important to remember that it contains fibers, descending fibers from the red nucleus and periaqueductal gray matter of midbrain to inferior olivary nuclear complex. Okay, so there is central tegmental tract lying in this tegmental core, and the fibers it contains are the fibers, descending fibers from the uh, periaqueductal gray matter and red nucleus to the inferior olivary nuclear complex. It also contains few ascending fibers from the lower brainstem reticular formation to intralaminar nucleus of the thalamus. So that is the central tegmental tract. After this, close to the midline, you can see these two structures, and you will find in all these sections of the brainstem these structures over here. One is the medial longitudinal fasciculus, and ventral to it there is tectospinal tract. So the dorsal one is the medial longitudinal fasciculus, and the ventral one is the tectospinal tract. As we know, medial longitudinal fasciculus, it consists of ascending and descending cross and uncross fibers from the vestibular nuclei, and it communicates other cranial nerve nuclei present in the brainstem. Okay, so it's mainly concerned with the coordinated movements of the eyes, ocular muscle as well as the muscles of head and neck. In ventral to it lies the tectospinal tract, which arises from the opposite superior colliculus, and it is concerned with this protective spino-visual reflex. Further ventrally, where the pointer is, lies the rubrospinal tract. So in some of the textbook you will find three structures. Okay, medial longitudinal fasciculus, tectospinal tract, as well as in front of it rubrospinal tract. So they lie along the side of the midline. Okay, so we have seen lemniscal system, trapezoid body, superior olivary nuclear complex, central tegmental tract, and medial longitudinal fasciculus, tectospinal tract, and rubrospinal tract. After this, look at this nuclear complex. This section is at the level of facial colliculus. So here lies the nuclear complex of the facial nerve, and there are four functional components, four nuclei of the facial nerve from medial to lateral. First is the motor nucleus of the facial nerve. Lateral to it there is superior salivatory nucleus. Further laterally, there is nucleus of Tractus solitarius, which is not, it is not present in this diagram, but somewhere over here lies third nucleus, that is the nucleus of Tractus solitarius, and the fourth is the spinal nucleus and tract of the trigeminal nerve. Okay, so behind the central tegmental tract, there is nuclear complex of facial nerve. We can collectively mention as the nuclear complex of the facial nerve. From medial to lateral, there is the motor nucleus of the facial nerve, superior salivatory nucleus, then lateral to it, nucleus of Tractus solitarius, and spinal nucleus as well as the tract of the trigeminal nerve. Okay, this motor nucleus, it gives rise to branchiomotor fibers. Superior salivatory nucleus gives rise to secretomotor fibers for the lacrimal gland, glands of nose and palate, submandibular, sublingual gland. Nucleus of Tractus solitarius, it receives taste fibers from the anterior two-thirds of tongue, and the spinal nucleus and the tract of the trigeminal nerve. Okay. After that, this is the floor of the fourth ventricle. This thing. Okay. The median, this is the posterior median sulcus. This sulcus is the sulcus limitus. So this medial area is the medial eminence, and the lateral area is the vestibular area. So it is obvious that in the beneath the lateral area, vestibular area, lies the vestibular group of nuclei. And in this section of pons, it will contain medial, superior and lateral group of vestibular nuclei. Beneath the facial colliculus lies the abducent nucleus. So this nucleus, this is the abducent nucleus, and you can see this is the motor nucleus of the facial nerve. Fibers, they wind around the abducent nucleus, forming the internal genu, and this is a very good example of neurobiotexis. So these fibers, they wind around the dorsal aspect of the abducent nerve, and they finally emerge at the lower border of the pons, forming internal genu, which gives rise to elevation in the floor of the fourth ventricle, that is known as facial colliculus. Okay, so these are the nuclei, abducent nucleus and vestibular group of nuclei. Now the lateral part of this section, here you can see this large part. This is the middle cerebellar peduncle. Okay, and it principally it contains the pontocerebellar fibers, contralateral as well as few ipsilateral. Dorsomedial, along the dorsomedial aspect of the middle cerebellar peduncle lies the inferior cerebellar peduncle. Inferior cerebellar peduncle, they incline backwards and they enter cerebellum along the dorsomedial aspect of the middle cerebellar peduncle. This is the inferior cerebellar peduncle. Now along the dorsal surface of the inferior cerebellar peduncle lies the dorsal cochlear nucleus. On the ventral surface of the inferior cerebellar peduncle lies the ventral cochlear nucleus. This is the ventral cochlear nucleus, and this is the dorsal cochlear nucleus. As we can see the position of the dorsal cochlear nucleus, it is exactly at the lateral angle of the floor of the fourth ventricle, and they lie at the level of pontomedullary junction. So this dorsocochlear nucleus is also described as auditory tubercle. Auditory tubercle, which lies at the lateral angle of the floor of the fourth ventricle. Okay. Another feature is this juxta-restiform body, which is not much important, but you can mention just beneath the dorsal cochlear nucleus, part of the inferior cerebellar peduncle. It contains ascending and descending fibers from the vestibular nerve and nuclei and cerebellum, and that is known as juxta-restiform body. It's very easy. The part of the inferior cerebellar peduncle beneath the dorsal cochlear nucleus is known as juxta-restiform body, and it specifically it contains incoming and outgoing fibers between the vestibular nerve and nuclei and cerebellum. Okay, so that completes the entire section of pons at the level of facial colliculus. Do you have any doubt? Okay. Let's proceed to next slide. Now this is the section of pons, upper part of the pons at the level of nuclei of the trigeminal nerve. What is important in this section? It will contain a part of the cavity of the fourth ventricle. Okay, we have studied this, why it contains the part of the cavity of fourth ventricle. As it contains the part of the cavity of fourth ventricle, you can see here this roof is formed by superior medullary velum, and dorsolaterally it is bounded by superior cerebellar peduncle. This is the superior cerebellar peduncle. Along the ventral aspect of the superior cerebellar peduncle, you will find ventral spinocerebellar tract. They actually enter superior cerebellar peduncle, but you can show it along the ventral aspect of the superior cerebellar peduncle, ventral spinocerebellar tract. Okay, so the roof is formed by superior medullary velum, and dorsolaterally it is bounded by the superior cerebellar peduncles and ventral spinocerebellar tract. That is the roof. Now this is the pons. This is the basilar part of the pons. Again, nuclei pontis, all the longitudinal fibers, corticospinal, corticonuclear, corticopontine, as well as pontocerebellar fibers, transverse fibers. They all are present in the basilar part of the pons. Tegmental part of the pons. So in the tegmental part, now you can see very clear necklace shape arrangement of the four lemnisci. Starting from medial to lateral, this is the medial lemniscus, trigeminal lemniscus, spinal lemniscus, lateral lemniscus. Okay, medial lemniscus, trigeminal lemniscus, spinal lemniscus, and lateral lemniscus. Lateral part, now it has only middle cerebellar peduncle because this section is at a higher level. So this is the middle cerebellar peduncle. Okay, in the central core there is central tegmental tract. So this is the central tegmental tract in the central core. Close to the midline, what is this? Medial longitudinal fasciculus, tectospinal tract, and you can show here rubrospinal tract. Okay, this rubrospinal tract is here, but you can show close to the midline in line of this medial longitudinal fasciculus, tectospinal tract, and ventral to tectospinal rubrospinal tract. Okay, now only thing remains is the nuclear complex at this level. In the lower level there is the nuclear complex of facial nerve. In this section there is nuclear complex of the trigeminal nerve. So there is a motor nucleus which is medial and principal sensory nucleus which is lateral to it. Okay, so there are two nuclei, motor nucleus lying medially and principal sensory nucleus lying lateral to it. Motor nucleus gives rise to the motor root, which is smaller and medial, and this principal sensory root. It actually receives fibers from the sensory root. Okay. Third nucleus, mesencephalic nucleus of the trigeminal nerve. It may appear. It's not necessary that it will be always present here, but it may appear close to the floor of the fourth ventricle. The three sensory nuclei of the trigeminal nerve, they lie craniocaudally. So in the medulla oblongata and up to second cervical vertebra, there is the spinal nucleus. Then in the caudal part of the pons, there is there is the principal sensory nucleus, and in midbrain there is mesencephalic nucleus. So all these three nuclei, they lie, there is a in one line from starting from the second cervical segment to midbrain as much up to the floor of the third ventricle. Okay, and they are, as they appear continuous, but they are not continuous, they are not in anatomical continuity, they are three different nuclei. Okay, so fibers, this principal sensory nucleus as well as spinal nucleus which we have seen in the lower part of the bones, these fibers, the fibers from this, they cross the midline and they ascend as the ventral trigeminothalamic tract or trigeminal lemniscus. So trigeminal lemniscus is just fibers from the principal sensory nucleus and spinal nucleus of the trigeminal nerve of the opposite side. From the opposite principal sensory nucleus and spinal nucleus, the fibers, they ascend as the ventral trigeminothalamic tract or trigeminal lemniscus. Okay. Fibers from the dorsal part of the principal sensory nucleus, they ascend ipsilaterally. This is important. They ascend on the same side ipsilaterally as the dorsal trigeminothalamic tract. Okay, so that also completes this section. The important point: nuclei pontis, basilar part, lemniscal system, medial lemniscus, trigeminal lemniscus, spinal lemniscus, lateral lemniscus, middle cerebellar peduncle, roof formed by the superior medullary velum, superior cerebellar peduncle, ventral spinocerebellar tract. Okay, then close to the midline, medial longitudinal fasciculus, tectospinal tract, rubrospinal tract. In the tegmental core, central tegmental tract. Lateral to it, nuclear complex of trigeminal nerve, motor nucleus medially, principal sensory nucleus laterally. And somewhere close to this floor of the fourth ventricle, there is mesencephalic nucleus of the trigeminal nerve. There is no need to mention this nucleus cellulus, but we know that it is present here. Okay, substantia ferruginea. So neurons are present, so you can mention this. Beneath the bluish gray area lies the substantia ferruginea, which is sometimes in some books it is referred as nucleus cellulus. Okay, so any doubt in this?